What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy right here, man. MMA Reloaded, and welcome to my MMA Reloaders watching the 48th episode of MMA Reloaded Real Talk. So basically, yeah, folks, 48. You know what I mean? I'm just proud of that already, man. Um, you know, when we talk about making history, yeah, folks, not only for myself, 50 episodes, but also being affiliated with Cage Steel. All respect to those guys, man. And it's given me great pleasure, folks, to sort of dedicate and um, you know dedicate my MMA Reloaded on the mic segment to those Cage Cage Steel athletes and fighters, folks. So tune in over the next week, folks, because we will be sitting down with the other half of the main event for Cage Steel 25, Elliot Hoy. We sat down with Boom Boom Scott Malone last time out, folks, episode 47. So that was a real pleasure to do that as well, man. So I'm really looking forward to Monday the 22nd, folks, when we sit with Elliot Hoy. Yeah, folks, this guy's 24 years old, 7-2 as a pro. Yeah, I'm actually really impressed, man, once I started seeing this guy's fights. And also, folks, a very special interview, a very special show, folks, for MMA Reloaded on the mic, dedicating to Cage Steel. We dedicate it to the man who actually runs the whole shit, the man who got over all this COVID bullshit, and now is returning. Cage Steel behind closed doors. He's the face that runs the place. Dominic Gibbs. So, folks, I will be sitting also with Dominic Gibbs, the Cage Steel president, CEO, the captain at the head of the helm. You know what I mean? Um, and that will be, folks, next Wednesday, the 24th, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, next Wednesday, the 24th, for real, for real. Um, so folks, so that gives me great pleasure to do that and dedicate folks are on the mic segment to something real. Of course, on the mic was never meant to be with guests. This is a guest thing, you know what I mean? This is real. This is real talk, man. This is real talk. For 48 episodes, for now, just over a year, man. Over a year now. Just under a year it's been now, folks. 11 months. We've done 48 episodes, man. It's been the 48. Not all of them have gone to plan, but I'm so happy, man. Either way, I'm so proud of doing what I do. So proud to be MMA Reloaded, you know, and to know that I did it by myself, and makes it that much more meaningful, man. But respect to all MMA pages out there. Really, there are some MMA pages that I actually have a really good relationship with. Um, and you like to just bounce ideas off and stuff like that, and do what inspires you. Whether you're an MMA page, NFL, NBA, any sport, really, man. You got to do what inspires you. You got to bounce ideas off, or just like scope out your competition. It's just the only way you get on top, really, man. Or if you're not there for likes and followers and you just want to do it because you love doing what you do, nothing wrong with that either, man. Devoting your time to doing something that you love is 100% the main game. Because if you love what you do, good stuff is going to come out of it, 100%. So, folks, episode 48, of MMA Reloaded Raw Talk. And before I get on the air tonight and talk about and just give our little 2 cents at the beginning of the show, tonight, folks, I want to talk. We're going to talk real tonight. Yeah, we're going to talk very real tonight, and we're going to talk with a legend, a cult hero, a man who gave 20 fights in the UFC, gave his blood, sweat, and tears to the fans, faced some of the toughest guys in the sport, man. Faced some of the most battle tested vets. He's faced young guys. He's done it. He's done it all, basically, man. Um, was a champion in Canada back in 2005. He is the original Hands of Stone, Sam Stout. Now, folks, Sam will join us, folks. And if you guys haven't been following Sam Stout, one of the main things that we're actually going to be talking about today is CTE, sports injuries, in light and in tribute, in respect of another veteran, another legend, Spencer Fisher. Spencer was also a 17-fight veteran in the UFC, a long career in MMA. Worked his ass off. He did everything for the fans. You know what I mean? His fights were, if you're a fan of mixed martial arts, I would say go watch Spencer Fisher's fights, man. It was very fun to watch Spencer fight. And now, all these years later, Spencer Fisher now remains permanently disabled with neurological CTE disease. And you have to think, that comes from fighting. It comes from so many probably head injuries. The thing is, yeah, folks, and we'll touch on this, of course, with Sam as well. Amongst a lot more. But yeah, when you talk about injuries and when you talk about sports injuries, it's a very, very sensitive subject to athletes, to veterans. I think Mark Coleman was the earliest guy who, to me, that I actually thought that, how hasn't this guy got a concussion? How hasn't this guy got a fucking, how hasn't he retired? I started thinking that after he started taking beatings. Later in his career, man, he was in bloody fights. Trust me. And it all started, I think, from that Pete Williams head kick knockout. Yeah, don't know who Pete Williams is. He was a fighter for Ken Shamrock's Lions then, and he faced Mark Coleman once, folks. And Mark Coleman was against the cage, so he was like this, and Pete had shoes on. Yeah, he had shoes on. Back in the early days of the UFC, when you can fucking do whatever you want, yeah, Pete kicked Mark Coleman, head kicked him with shoes to Mark's bare head, yeah, and took him out. That's what I think fucking started. Yeah, the Mark was in fight, man. He was in fights, bro. Yeah, after that, and I think Mark Coleman for me was the first guy I saw who I actually thought had a concussion after every fight he fought. And then now, as my knowledge of sport grows up, and so do I watch more and more sports. I watch the NFL. Combat sports is my life. So MMA, boxing, is my forte. But when I watch other sports as well, like the NFL, like the NBA, even what I see in the National Hockey League, it's some crazy shit out there, man. You know what I mean? And even in the NFL, yeah, folks, American football players are probably one of the most affected athletes by sporting injuries, not only physically but neurologically as well. Neurological injuries, folks, for those who may not know, are injuries that affect your brain. So there may be long-term effects from concussions, or you may have CTE, which is a neurological disease. Repeated head injuries, that's what causes it, straight up. You take too many bangs and blows to the head. That's why you see so many guys in MMA nowadays use footwork. Dominic Cruz, in my opinion, has the smartest MMA style ever. Yeah, his footwork is amazing, folks, and because of that, he doesn't have miles on his body. Straight up, no miles on him at all. Yeah. The other guys, you see guys in boxing now, and you see guys in boxing back in the day when Michael Watson and Chris Eubank, folks, for those who may have seen it, I know a lot of people in the UK would have seen it when Chris Eubank was on ITV and he was having an interview with Piers Morgan. For those who don't know who Piers Morgan is, he's a show host. He's a show host. So a very controversial one at that. So he had an interview with Chris Eubank, one of his Raw Talk live stories, and so they showed this, folks, and Chris Eubank and Michael Watson. If you ever have a chance to go and watch that fight, or wherever, if you can find it, folks, I urge you to watch it. 2 fights, yeah. The first one, cool, just like any other. Eubank winning on decision. Second, yeah, folks, they're in. I think they're coming into like the 8th, 9th round, 10th round, and so Eubank backs Watson up, and he hits him with so Watson digging his head in, yeah, and he hits him with an uppercut. Eubank digs an uppercut right in there, and I think it's the uppercut. He dug an uppercut, a right hand, into Michael Watson, and Michael Watson got put out here, folks. And straight after that, Michael Watson has been left, folks, in a wheelchair permanently. You know what I'm saying? With brain damage. So, it pains me to actually just talk about this, folks. So, I'm going to be doing a whole show on it tonight. Episode 48. You know what I mean? It's things like these, folks. That I love to talk about because it shows the new fans of mixed martial arts, or young fans who have just been in this joining the sport for the past like 2-3 years, or just stayed for Conor McGregor. This is why you have to appreciate the men and women who get into the cage or in the ring if you're in one championship or Glory Kickboxing and fight. This is martial arts here, folks. It's physical. It's not ballet. It's not pro wrestling. You don't get do-over. You don't get to go straight to the trainer's room and see what's up. This is real, man. This is real as it gets. And folks, it's going to give me a pleasure to talk with Sam Stout. First of all, folks, we're going to talk about his career, and we're going to talk about, of course, the injury side of it too. So, folks, of course, those who may have been following the UFC, Midnight Mania couldn't have reigned more true in the last 24 hours, I'd say. 24, 30 hours. Midnight Mania, folks, it has been a thing the whole time. Every time MMA Junkie release some shit, it's Midnight Mania straight up. Because every time we wake up in the morning, we're like, holy shit. Yeah, this is how I am, folks. Yeah, when I wake up in the morning, I scroll through my phone. I'm like, what? The thing is, so, folks, we officially have a fight for the vacated lightweight championship, folks. I think 90% of us, 99.99999% of us knew that Khabib was retired. Yeah, after the fight with Justin Gaethje, he was retired. The 1% that didn't fucking know was Dana White himself. So Dana White actually goes, and he has all these meetings with Khabib. He has dinner with Khabib and whatever, But I think Khabib's answer sort of remained the same, right? Yeah, he's like, Uncle Dana, I do not want to come back. Why doesn't he want to come back? It's because of his family, yeah? He doesn't want to come back to fight because of his family. He made that clear. I don't think Khabib is a guy to go back on his word. So when UFC announced the championship fight last night between Michael Chandler and Charles Oliveira, to be honest, folks, I like that fight, but I like Charles Oliveira in that title picture. I think that guy deserves. He deserves it more than anybody else, yeah, in that division. And I'll be honest with that right now. Michael Chandler, on the other hand, would have been better off facing Justin Gaethje. I don't think a win over Dan Hooker actually puts him in place for a championship shot. Yeah, he's got the reputation as a 3-time Bellator champion. But how many times has he beat the same guy? You know what I mean? He beat Ben Henderson 3 times. But the thing is, is that you can't really fuck off. You can't really, judge a guy just on his UFC debut. UFC debut might be good, yeah, against a lesser guy, and then against a higher ranked guy, he might get fucked up. Justin Gaethje could beat Michael Chandler, yeah, folks, but we'll never know now, will we? Because Michael Chandler will be fighting for the lightweight championship against Charles Oliveira. It's a great fight, nonetheless. Dustin Poirier, we all wanted Dustin Poirier in the championship picture. In my opinion, folks, Dustin Poirier is the UFC lightweight champion right now. I don't care. I don't give 2 fucks. Monkey's bollocks. He is the UFC lightweight champion. It is, in my opinion, in a lot of people's opinion, after he beat Conor McGregor, yeah, he sealed that envelope, yeah. He sealed that form up. Send me a belt. That's all Dustin Poirier did. That Conor McGregor fight was just a little, pit pat. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then you got the bantamweight division folks heating up. Aljamain Sterling and Peter Yan have been throwing shots at each other ever since UFC 259 ended. They have been on each other's asses. Yeah, it has been crazy. Aljamain Sterling's been on Petr Yan's ass. Peter Yan's just been responding to his tweets. Yeah. Every tweet Aljamain types, Peter Yan responds. Aljamain just sent one in Russian. That's how bad this is. He actually sent one in Russian, yeah, about that rematch is coming soon, and he's just a clown and all this shit. And bro, it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy, man. Before we do the particulars, folks, and invite Sam Stout to the show, Corey Sandhagen versus TJ Dillashaw. Corey Sandhagen and Dillashaw, folks, was actually announced a couple of weeks ago, which is when we posted it first up. I posted that first up here, folks, TJ and Corey Sandhagen, because there was a lot of fights here, folks, that TJ Dillashaw was rumored for. He was rumored for Jose Aldo. He was rumored for Uriah Faber. He was rumored for Rob Font. But now Corey Sandhagen will welcome Dillashaw back into the octagon. There is no doubt in my mind how talented TJ Dillashaw is. Yeah, he took EPOs, but how do we know, that he took EPOs throughout his career? How do we know that? All his other drug tests came up clean. How do we know that his EPO use was all of his career? It wasn't. It was just a career of, it was just a fight against Henry Cejudo. If you're cutting weight, folks, to a weight division down, and depending on how much weight you cut, it's not a good move, man. Dillashaw was pressured into going into that fight. I'll tell you that now. He was pressured into going that fight with Cejudo. He went into it, thinking that he was going to destroy the flyweight division. He got destroyed in one round. And then look what happened to him now, man. 2 years suspended. It's bullshit, bro. And now he comes back. Corey Sandhagen, in that meantime, while Dillashaw been gone, has been tearing shit apart. 7-1 in the UFC. The guy's a complete savage. His striking is on another level of striking in the bantamweight division. Corey Sandhagen floats like he strikes like butter. Yeah, his strikes just flow. His wheel kicks are flying knees. His shit comes out from anywhere, bro. Okay, that fight is going to be crazy. I want to see what TJ is going to bring coming back into the cage with his TJ's combinations, folks. His speed is absolutely incredible. His speed is incredible. The aggression that he brings to the octagon is incredible. That's what made him a champion in the first place. So, folks, we're gonna do the particulars right now and invite Sam Stout to the show. So you know what time it is. Just stay locked. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the fuck can't do that. There you go. Stay locked in, folks. So, welcome back, folks. We had to do the particulars. Y'all know we had to do it. Y'all know what the particulars are. You know what I mean? We gotta let our guests know to join the show. Yeah. Apart from that, then we would have no guests. So, folks, aside from Dillashaw and Sandhagen, aside from Aljamain Sterling and Petr Yan going one-on-one, we have the return after 11 months out of action. Cody Garbrandt, yeah, folks, is back. Cody's on he's on a just ended his 3-fight losing streak with a highlight reel KO of Rafael Assunção. Yeah, last time out. You remember that one punch? Assunção comes in with some little kick, yeah. He comes forward, and Cody's just against the cage like this, and then boom, just fucking swings him, yeah, back to Brazil. And and then now, folks, Cody Garbrandt's in for some shit. He's in for some shit. And I'll tell you right now, folks, yeah, you want to see a world-class boxing fight between two MMA, between two of MMA's best boxers, yeah, you're gonna see it, man. Rob Font and Cody Garbrandt, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. The New England Cartel versus Team Alpha Male. Yeah, it's gonna be some real shit going down in that one, man. There ain't no doubt about that. So, folks, when we talk about, UFC, you got to mention the middleweights. Yeah, middleweight division. You can't go anywhere without mentioning the middleweights. So, folks, when I mention the middleweights right now, the first man that comes to my mind is Israel Adesanya straight up. But Izzy's too busy looking to John Jones. He's too busy looking toward John Jones. I'm now thinking to myself, fam, you have Robert Whittaker, who's basically your number one contender. Yeah. Kelvin Gastelum at number 7. Or number 9 now, sorry, yeah. Kelvin Gastelum at number 9. Who's coming up. Yeah, former number 1 contender. Gave you the biggest fight in your life. You got those two fighting. Then you got Marvin Vittori and Darren Till. Yeah, you're basically Marvin Vittori and Darren Till. I think they're in that top 5. I think they're in the top 5. Both of them. I think Darren Till may be lower. But I know Marvin Vettori's at number 6, folks. So you got those two fighting. You also got, Paulo Costa, who's pregnant. You know what I'm saying? You also got Paulo Costa, who's pregnant. Yeah. And he's not fighting Robert Whittaker in their fight. He dropped out. So Kelvin Gastelum and Robert Whittaker, and that gives Israel Adesanya even more to worry about if Kelvin beats Whittaker, because Kelvin no doubt gave Adesanya the biggest fight of Israel's career, man. So before looking to John Jones, I would say to Israel, look to Fight Nights, bro. Look to Kevin Holland versus Derek Brunson. Look to Kelvin Gastelum and Robert Whittaker. Look to what's that fight? Look to Darren Till, Marvin Vettori. Yeah, my bad. You gotta look to those, man. You can't look past your contenders, man, and straight to John Jones. Folks, John Jones been on his ass since since losing to Jan Blachowicz. If John Jones basically if John Jones faces Israel Adesanya, I think it would be different. I do. I don't know, man. I have no idea who the fuck that's. But yeah, folks, tomorrow night is gonna be Derek Brunson versus Kevin Holland, main event in UFC Vegas 22. That's gonna be a real fight for sure, man. Holland makes his first appearance in 2021, but out of how many appearances is that guy gonna make this year, man? Who the hell knows? That guy is crazy. Yeah, he could make like 6-7 appearances this year. I'm not gonna lie. And I think one of those could be for the championship belt. I never know. You never know, man. You never just know in this sport. That's what I'm gonna keep saying. You never know. You never know. You never know. Because normally, yeah, the announcements, yeah, folks, they go our way. Then some announcements don't. Then you think that, oh shit, he should be in this fight. Oh shit, he should be in that fight. Nah, you know what? Everyone thinks they're matchmakers, including me. I think I'm a matchmaker straight up. But Derek Brunson, no doubt about it, wants to get back at Israel Adesanya. He makes his 22nd UFC appearance. Does Brunson, natural athlete? This is going to be a real tight fight if Brunson can have his way with Kevin Holland and put pressure on him. There is so far I have not seen no weak spots in Kevin Holland. His jiu-jitsu is good off his back. We saw it against Jacare Souza. But if Derek Brunson could put the pressure on and wrestle Kevin Holland down, we could see Derek Brunson go back into the conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you never know, man. When you watch mixed martial arts, like Daniel Cormier said, like they say on commentary, styles make fights. Styles make fights, bro. If you got a striker versus a grappler, why would the grappler strike? If you got, I think that's why Khabib was so good. Khabib knew what his style was, man. Khabib knew that he was a mauler. He was a wrestler. He was a grappling machine. Yeah, he was a literal grappling machine. So Khabib knew that he could out-grapple anybody. And he did. He did, man. He did. He dropped Conor McGregor with the right hand, yeah, but he out-grappled anybody. Yeah? And that's what was so good about Khabib. He didn't give a shit what anybody thought about his fights. He was just set in his way. This is what I'm going to do each fight. This is how I'm going to do it. And this is when I'm going to finish it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah? I think that's what we're going to see a lot of times now, man. Curtis Blades, he does that too. Even though his striking is so good. Curtis Blade's striking is so good, folks. We saw it against Derek Lewis before he got knocked out. But what's gonna happen is that, you know, what's gonna happen is that actually nothing's gonna happen, to be honest. If you use what brought you to the dance to win, nothing's gonna happen, man. Straight up, bro. Nothing's gonna happen to you, man. Yeah, that's how it is. Styles make fights. Use your style to win fights, bro. That's what makes you win, bro. That's what makes wins. No doubt about it. Well, on top of that, aside from that, ladies and gentlemen, let's just sweep that to the side. You're tuned in to MMA Reloaded Real Talk, episode 48. Our countdown to the 50th episode continues. And 50 episodes, folks, of course, I've said it. If you've been with me through the start of the show, it gives me pleasure to make history like 50 episodes. With 50 episodes, it's been an amazing journey, man. Our countdown to 50 started in our last show with Scott Malone, who will main event Cage Steel 25, along with my next guest, folks, Monday 22nd of March, with Elliot Hoy. And episode 49 and episode 50, folks, I have very, very special episodes for you guys, man. Very, very, very special episodes coming up with very, very special guests. It's going to mean a lot to her. It's going to, have a lot of meaning to it. Episode 49, folks, will take place March the 27th. Yeah, March the 27th. Yeah, folks, 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Nevada time, with two guys, two legends, two veterans of the sport, two guys who have been there and done that, in the WC, the UFC, and folks, it's going to be another triple threat episode, but two guys who I have just the utmost respect for, no doubt about it. These two guys, I have the utmost respect for them. What they do, what they've done in this sport. Jamie Varner, who's a former WEC lightweight champion, folks. We did an episode with Jamie, just not that long ago, folks. We've done an episode with Jamie Varner. It was one of the best episodes I have ever done. One of the best podcasts I've ever done, ever. Yeah, folks, only because of the maturity and the answers, the stories that he told. It was an absolute pleasure to talk with Jamie Varner. And then Anthony, folks, Anthony Andrew has been a real, he's been there, with him Reloaded since day one, even after I got shut down. Before even I got shut down the first time, Anthony Andrew was with me, man. So Anjo has been on our show, folks, as well 3 times. He was on our 40th episode. Yeah, folks, episode 40. He was Anthony Andrew was on that episode, folks. So it gives me great pleasure to join Anthony Andrew and to be joined by Anthony Andrew and Jamie Varner. Yeah, folks, as they talk about their experience. We talk about a lot of hot topics. It's going to be a real hot take, man, in the podcast, folks, episode 49. And then, folks, episode 50, I have something very special, very, very, very special to bring to the fans. It is a panel, yeah, folks, a real panel, yeah. I'm just gonna say, one side we got African American fighters. Yeah, on one side we have Latino fighters. Yeah, folks. And we're gonna bring them together in one panel. Yeah, folks. That's episode 50. Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it too much who the panel is and who's on it, but I'm sure that you guys are gonna enjoy that episode. just as much as I'm going to enjoy presenting it. So, folks, episode 48 is just about to take off in 5 minutes when Sam Stout joins us, folks. So we're going to see where Sam Stout is right now. So it should be there soon, folks. We should be there soon, no doubt about it. So yeah, folks, as I said, this episode is going to be dedicated to neurological sporting injuries. It's going to be raw as raw can get. If you're sensitive to that kind of thing, I urge you not to watch. But of course, I would like you to watch because it is going to be very educational at the same time with Sam Stout. Yeah, folks. And of course, like I just mentioned, episode 49 and episode 50, folks. I'm looking. There's going to be big things coming in them two shows. So stay tuned for those. Stay tuned for those. Episode 49 and episode 50. So, you know what I mean, folks? There's a lot of big things coming for MMA Reloaded. Being a Cage Steel affiliate also, folks, joining us for those two interviews Monday with the other half of the Cage Steel 25 main event in Elliot Hoy, and Wednesday with the boss himself, the man who runs a plan, the face who runs a place at Cage Steel, Dominic Gibbs. That's going to be a real show as well, man, to get to know the boss. So yeah, folks, join us for that. That'll be episode 7 of On the Mic with Dom Gibbs. So, folks, I think what we're gonna do right now. Yeah, we're just about set, man. Folks, counting down the last 4 minutes till episode 48 begins. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, folks, I hope you all are doing well. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are doing being safe. Still wear your masks. COVID ain't going nowhere. And I hope you guys tune in, man. Hope you guys tune in, man, to tomorrow night, episode UFC Vegas 22. Also, folks, we know UFC 261, Jorge Masvidal will take on oh shit. Oh, 9, folks. 9. It's cool. So So UFC 261, folks, the UFC came out a couple of days ago with a very special announcement that they'll be live with a full crowd from the ViStar Arena in Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah, folks. So that's going to be such a sick event to see. And then you got main eventing it. You got the rematch between Jorge Masvidal and Kamaru Usman for the UFC welterweight championship. And do you want to call it a rematch, or do you want to call it just like this is the first meeting and scratch off that 50-45 that Usman dominated Masvidal with the first time? Basically, yeah, folks. Here's my rule. Here's my deal with this. Yeah, is that with fights. Folks, Sam Stout is about ready. Yeah, folks, I'll get back to that soon. Right?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Sam, what's up?
What's happening?
What's going? Just give me 1 sec, bro.
Yeah, sure. Kate, you can finish up, yeah? I'm just gonna set this thing.
1 sec. Yo, what's going on, brother?
What's happening?
I'm good, man. How was your St. Patty's Day, bro?
It was good. I just took it easy. I went out for 1 Guinness and 1 Irish car bomb, and then I said,
"Oh, damn.
I'm gonna head home before it gets too crazy." Find a good spot to sit and do this. He's just finishing up. I'm just doing a little podcast thing here. Huh? Say it again. All right, we good?
Yeah,
Is
we're
this better?
good.
I'm trying to figure out where the best place to do this is.
This is cool, man. That's cool. If
Yeah.
that's cool with you,
Got
that's
the
cool.
adrenaline logo.
Yeah, we got the adrenaline logo, man. We got the adrenaline logo in there, bro.
So where are you situated?
I'm in the UK, man. I'm in London, England, bro.
Oh, okay, right on.
Yeah, man. First of all, boy, it's a pleasure, man. It's a real pleasure.
You know what? I'm gonna find a different spot. I'm just right out by the road here. There's a little bit too much noise for me. It's hard to hear.
Nah, that's cool.
Go inside. I'll do it. I'll sit on the edge of the ring. All right, I think this is better.
Yeah, that's a lot better, bro. That's a lot better, man. Yeah, for sure.
Right
For sure, man. First of all, Sam, how you doing, man? Adrenaline doing well, bro?
Adrenaline's doing well. Yeah, we got. I'm here right now. It's empty right now. It's kind of the slow period of the day right now.
Okay.
It'll probably things will pick up in about an hour or so.
Well, aside from those hardcore fans who will know you and know what you've done in this sport, bro. For those who don't know you, how did Sam start? How did Sam Stout get started in mixed martial arts, bro?
I was in high school. I was about 16 years old, and I got introduced to Sean Tompkins, who was my coach throughout my career. He started dating my sister, actually. So he was training kickboxers at the time. So I started off doing amateur kickboxing with him, and then kind of MMA started to be on the forefront a lot more. Started to become a lot more mainstream, and Mark Hominick started fighting MMA. So I started off as a training MMA to help Mark get ready for fights, and then next thing I know, I was taking MMA fights, and one thing led to another, and I ended up in the UFC.
And what a fucking journey that was, bro.
Yeah.
You know what, bro? And I want to talk about that journey because it's been 18 years since you made your debut.
Is that right? 18 years?
Yeah, in MMA.
That's wild, man.
That's 2003, bro. Yeah.
No. Oh, my MMA debut. Wow,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, your MMA debut.
It was just 15 years since my UFC debut. March 4th.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so 18 years. Fuck, 18 years since that makes me feel old, man. Makes me feel old.
You're not old, bro. You look fucking good, man.
I still got my hair.
That's the main thing. That's the main thing.
That's right. That's right.
What do you remember from that UFC debut, bro? If you remember anything, right? If you can recall it, what do you remember from that, man? 2005.
Dude, that was it was a crazy day. I was supposed to fight Kenny Florian on the Canada UFC 58, Canada versus US. It was, I think, the last time they tried to do a pay-per-view that was like with a theme like that, and I was supposed to fight Kenny, and he threw his back out packing his bags like 3 days before the fight.
Ooh.
I don't know. So they ended up giving me Spencer Fisher very last minute. He took it on 2 days notice. We fought the first of our three battles, and one fight of the night, had a war, and then fought again a year later. So it was a good start.
And bro, when we talk about your career, in 2004, you went to you competed in Canada. You were the TKO lightweight champ. Yeah, well, talk to me about that experience. Of course, back then, that long ago, 17 years ago, bro. It's, Canadian MMA wouldn't have been as evolved as it is now, right?
No, I didn't. No. No, it was, it was an interesting time in MMA, and it was a cool way to make my start. Mark, like I said, was already kind of had a head start for training MMA before me. But, it was a cool time. I was Mark was the 145-pound champ, the featherweight champ. I was the lightweight champ. George St. Pierre was the welterweight champ. David Loiseau was the 185-pound champ, and Pat Cote was the 205-pound champ. So it was a cool time. It was a cool beginning to the journey. So it's something I really look back on at that time in my life with a lot of fondness.
Yeah, man. And do you recall that championship winning fight, bro? The fight that you had against Donald Oiley.
With May, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 21 years old, and I think he was 41 or 42. It was like he had been the champ for a long time, hadn't lost in a really long time. So it was kind of a changing of the guard. I had a bunch of my friends drive out to Montreal from Ontario, so it was,
no way, man.
we had a good night that night.
That was
and Montreal was always a good time after, before, during, and after the fights. A lot of people living in Montreal.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
But what you've done inside the cage is equally as great as what you've done outside the cage. Yeah, boy. You started the anti-bullying program.
Yeah, well, I'd say that was more Sean that started that, but I was a big part of it. But yes, that's still something that I keep pretty close to my heart. All the kids in the gym. Can you still hear me all right?
Yeah, man. I can hear you.
All the kids in the gym were very big on anyone who I train, really, for that matter. Anything I teach anybody martial arts related is either for sport or for self-defense, and we don't tolerate anybody, any of our students picking on people in school, any of the kids. Yes. Sorry. Hang on one sec.
That's cool.
Let me just get some headphones on. We got Hominick banging pads back here.
Dude, shit, Mark Hominick's in the gym. Yeah.
He's in the gym right now. Yeah, hang on one sec. I'll give you a. Sorry, man. So, but what was it? What were we talking about here?
We're talking about the anti-bullying program, bro.
Yeah. So it's just, I think it's our responsibility as martial artists to let kids know that this isn't, it's a sport. It's not, it's not us being tough guys and it's not about our egos. It's about, being athletes.
And I guess that resonates more now, with the whole thing that's going on with racism, bro, and a lot of kids being racially abused.
100%.
And you got it was yourself, Sean Pearson, and Matt Mitchell, right, bro?
Yeah.
What was your goal? What was your objective when you got part of that?
I mean, just to spread that message. I think sometimes with kids, they don't see the difference between one fight and the next fight. What we're doing is two guys who are prepared to do it, who have signed a contract, agreeing to fight each other. It's not two kids that get into a disagreement and settle it with fists. We're grown men. We're professionals. What we do is something we feel very passionate about, and 9 times out of 10 we're shaking hands and we're friends after. We're just not promoting violence as a way of solving problems. It's when you're doing it to make a living, that's a different story.
Yeah, and I guess when they see mixed martial artists giving them the message, boy, it sort of inspires them to see that there's a more controlled way of dealing with your anger and your frustration, right?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of people that kind of thought it was strange that we were taking on an anti-bullying thing, but these are kids. Usually the kids who are the bullies consider themselves to be tough guys, and they may not listen to a teacher or a parent or something like that, but to somebody else who they see as another tough guy or somebody who they respect, I think hearing it from us might resonate with them a little bit more.
Yeah, man, no, for sure it does, man. And then Adrenaline Training Center, bro. Yeah, that's where you are right now.
That's where I'm at right now.
London, Ontario. how did that start for you, man? How did that gym come about?
Well, initially it was Team Tompkins. It was Sean Tompkins' gym, and then as he was pursuing his career as a coach, he moved out to Las Vegas, and that's where we did all our training camps. So we spent a lot of time in Vegas. But when it was me, Chris Hordesky, and Mark Hominick, and he said, "Listen, I can't run the gym anymore. I want you guys to take it over." And at that time, we were basically just collecting enough money from the members to keep the doors open, so we would have a place to train. But we ended up changing the name to Adrenaline after Sean had been out of in Vegas for a while, and we wanted to have a clean slate with Adrenaline. So it's still Team Tompkins in its heart, but we called it Adrenaline. We opened it up and we started running it a little bit more as a business. And then after we've all retired, it's really had an opportunity to grow. We're in this. I'll give you the quick tour. So we got the ring behind me. We got some. Then we got, this is our mats. So we got a good space here. There's the machine right there, doing some pad holding for one of our older clients, and we got the full space in the basement. So we got about 10,000 square feet. It's a really great gym, great kind of group of people, great great members too.
And I guess when you train clients, Sam, is it, it must be gratifying to you, bro, as a veteran of the sport, to pass your knowledge down, right?
I mean, definitely. Like, that's what martial arts is all about. It's that martial arts wouldn't be what it was today if it wasn't being passed down from generation to generation, right? So, you adapt it to what you need it for. You make, it continues to evolve. It continues to grow as long as people continue to teach it on to the next person, and they teach it on to the next person. So, there's one of my students right there. That's Brendan Sutton. He's in the early stage of his fight career, and hopefully at some point I can pass, when I'm too old to keep kicking and punching and getting people holding pads for people. I'll pass the reins on to him. That's the beauty of martial arts.
And then, aside from all that, bro, we talk about the GoFundMe set up for Spencer Fisher. Yeah, Sam, I mean,
yeah.
It's before I get your thoughts on that, but I just want to say, I think you should take a bow right now, man. I just want to fucking.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. A lot of stuff came up with Spencer. There was the article on him and the problems he's having. There's no doubt that it looks to be CTE, right? He's got memory loss. He's got anxiety issues. He's got anger issues. He's got all these symptoms that all point to CTE. And everyone was saddened by the news. But after a week, it seemed like everyone just forgot and moved on to the next topic in the news. And especially in the world we're in today, there's something crazy and sad and that happens every day. So after a few weeks went past, it happened to be the 15-year anniversary of the first fight I had with Spencer. So I started it to put a little bit of money in his pocket. It's not going to fix his problem, but it's, maybe take a little pressure off him for a little bit. Yeah. But it was also just to bring the attention back. Like, hey, you guys all know about this. And we talked about this a month ago, but nothing was ever done. So I just thought, if I can do something small, like start a little GoFundMe and make them a little cash, then, that's, I'm going to do it.
And there was no doubt in hell. Yeah, he was your biggest and best rival in the, you guys brought the best out of each other. And
for sure.
And it takes a lot, from one veteran to another to actually understand what you guys go through after you fight careers.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one thing that the sport's lacking is the fighters kind of having each other's backs a little bit more. Because really, there's all the trash talk and all the stuff to sell fights, but for the most part, we're all in this together. You know, if Dana's not paying, you know, if guys aren't getting paid, that means everyone's not getting paid. If guys aren't getting, if Spencer Fisher's not getting his healthcare taken care of, that means nobody's getting their health care. But you know, I think a little bit of unity throughout within this kind of fraternity of fighters would make our lives a lot better. It would give us a lot more power in how things go.
And is that part of the reason why you retired as well, bro?
Yeah,
because you know, you sort of thought to yourself, Sam, you know, I can't do it at the same level I did once, you know, and also health and safety.
That was 100% the reason. If I you know, I had an iron jaw for my whole career, and then all of a sudden I got knocked out by KJ Newens, then by Ross Pearson, and then by Frankie Perez, who's really not even known as a striker. It's, you know, I knew something had changed in my head, and I knew my style of striking and my style of fighting it doesn't work if I can't take a punch. Yeah. And you know, so there's that, and there's also, you know, I'm lucky to say I haven't had anything too serious. I'm you know, I got some issues like everyone else does. I don't know how many of them are related to fighting. It's hard to pinpoint where things are coming from, but you know, I take pills for depression. I find myself having a harder time organizing my thoughts and kind of processing information than I did when I was before my fight career. Can I say for sure that it's from getting hit in the head? No, but I have a pretty strong feeling, and you know, I didn't want to be, you know, I didn't want to end up like Spencer. I didn't want to end up in that position, so I walked away when I was 30 years old, when my body still could have kept going for a long time. But if this, you know, this is the most important thing.
Yeah, man. And I guess that's probably the advice you would give to fighters right now, right? Is that, you know, the right time to hang it up, only you know. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's a lot of advice I've given to young fighters, man. Like, and a lot of times guys know they should hang it up, but don't, because they didn't put money away. So I would say my 3 pieces of advice would be put once you start making money, start saving money, because you can't fight forever. Yeah. I would say protect yourself in sparring and train smart and take time off when you need to. One thing I attribute a lot of, you know, the fact that I don't have too much damage after my career is I always took a lot of time. I always took a month, 2 months off really hard training and sparring, mostly because I was just out drinking and having fun. But I gave my head a break. And you see a lot of these guys that are just addicted to the gym, and it's like they lose a fight by knockout, and like a week later they're in the gym sparring again. It's like, give your head a break. Wear headgear. Don't try and don't go in and spar like you're not fighting for the world title in the gym every time. You gotta be smart when you train. And man, that's I think so save money, save your head, and go out when the getting's good. Don't wait too long.
And what would you say to these guys who take like short notice fights or 5 fights in a year or something like that?
I mean, that I don't have a problem with. If you if you're ready, I don't say don't take 5 fights in a year if you're in 5 wars. Don't do that. Yeah. But if you go out and have a quick finish and you're ready to go again, let them know. I think that's cool. I think, I think it's more about keeping track of the amount of damage you've taken in that year, right? Mm-hmm. If you've gone through 4 fights in the year and you haven't taken any damage, go ahead, take a 5th one. But if you've been, if you get into a war, go give yourself a good rest after. Go if you leave that fight all banged up, you got a concussion, then take that time. Go enjoy yourself. Go on a vacation. Go spend some time with your family. You don't need to get right back in the gym immediately. And if you are, just keep it non-contact for a bit. Work on the things you're not good at. Work on your jiu-jitsu. Work on, stuff that doesn't involve getting hit in the head. You got to, and this, I mean, it's the same thing. If you broke your hand, you're not going to go in and start punching, you're throwing punches the next day, right? You're going to let your hand heal. For some reason, when it comes to people's heads, they don't see it the same way for some reason. Which I don't understand.
And I've always said that you gotta use your strengths to win a fight, right, bro? I mean that's why grappling is so important, is that it doesn't involve you getting hit in the face, to stand up.
For sure. I mean, if I could go back and do things over again, I would definitely try and I'd work on my jiu-jitsu more and not turn every fight into a stand-up war. I mean, I know people loved it, but it shortened my career by a lot of years, I think.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing, right? That's the thing, right, bro? Is that if you're like we see now, bro, is that grapplers are so much more prominent, is because they, all you do is you're transitioning, you're staying on top, and you're not taking. Nobody can punch you in the head hard from the
not hard enough to do any serious damage.
Exactly, yeah. And so when you see guys right now, that say, they want to be active and they want to, fight this time and this time and this time, like we said, bro, if you fight, like 2-3 minutes in the cage, and want to go again, there's no problem.
Yeah.
But
if you're doing a 15 or a 25-minute fight, chances are you need a rest.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But if you're coming off if you get knocked out twice and you still want to get back in there a third time, quit.
Yeah.
What would you say
I mean,
to a guy like that?
Like if you've been knocked out 3 times in a row, chances are it's time to hang them up.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're young, or I don't know, man, sometimes there can be other issues going on. But if you're not going to hang them up for good, you at least need to take a long break, and you need to go see a doctor, get your MRI, make sure there's no damage. But the scary thing about it is they can't diagnose CTE until you're dead. So, just if you've been knocked out 3 times, just understand that you're running a risk of never being the same person ever again for the rest of your life. How much, and when we're talking about the UFC, for me, a losing purse, I was only making like 35 grand. So, 35, and then this Reebok deal. So I was making about 50 grand. So getting that knockout, 50 grand, then plus minus your training expenses, minus all the taxes, you're talking like 35 grand for, affecting the quality of your life for the rest of your life. For me, it was no longer worth it. And that's why I walked away.
So do you think that now when the fighters query about their pay, that is justified in that sense?
100%. I think the fighters need to be getting paid way more. I think it's crazy. Like we're risking our life, or we're risking for the most part, we're not going to die, but we're risking the quality of our lives, to entertain these people and to make the owners of the company billionaires.
Yeah.
To make them billions. I think, I'm not asking for 50% like these other pro sports, not right away at least, but I mean, it needs to be there's a guy like me who never really came too close to reaching the title. After a 10-year career, 20 fights in the UFC, you should have made enough money to not have to really worry about money. Maybe you still got to get a job, you got to find something to do, but I still got to worry about money every fucking day. I still, that to me isn't right. I think you should have, you should have made enough money that if you were smart with it, you don't have to necessarily work at all anymore. Like, I mean, I'd still have this gym anyways. I'm not saying but it's just not, I shouldn't have to be working as hard as I do.
But is this why we see a lot of guys go into coaching after their careers? Is this why we see, guys like James Krause, guys like, even Khabib, yourself, go into coaching after their careers end because they want to have a plan B.
Yeah, I mean, coaching's great, and I mean, and a lot of guys go this way because we spend our whole adult lives working on being the best at this. So yeah, and it goes back to what we were talking about. You want to pass on that knowledge and experience. The other thing is it's a good. I mean, coaching is the logical thing because you're walking into a job that it may be new to you, but your credentials are already enough that you can make a good living doing it, right? Like I'm a 10-year vet in the UFC, so I'm not gonna, I can I can charge people what I think I deserve to be charged because I've got the credentials for it and mark and that's, I think it's the easiest road for a lot of fighters' sake to have a job where you're still command a lot of respect, because it's hard to walk away from competing because you feel like, okay, what's my identity now? So when you're going into coaching is just a smooth transition and one that can still make you feel like you have some value.
Do you think that, bro, because you fought in the UFC before social media was prominent, before social media was even in its prime. Yeah, you were fighting in the UFC. How different do you think? How different was it then before social media was even a thing in MMA now, where it's like 90% of the market?
Well, I mean, what social media has done to the sport is it's really made a fighter's popularity decide when their title shot's going to be, who their next fight's going to be, as opposed to their ranking. And their popularity determines the ranking, basically. Yep. You get a guy like, you get guys that get fast tracked up in because they have a Twitter and Instagram following. So, in some ways that's great because it tends to be the exciting guys that everyone wants to see. But in a lot of other ways, it's pretty unfair for the guys who are fight smart, who grind out wins, who put in the work. Yep. I mean, it kind of sucks for them.
I mean, do you think that sort of diminishes the whole rankings? Yeah, the
UFC rankings doesn't mean anything. Let's be honest, right? It's whoever the UFC decides their matches based on what's the most profitable, what's the biggest draw, and that's just kind of how it works.
So, like, bro, you fought some of the toughest guys. You literally climbed the ladder. Yeah, and that's what it's all about. How nowadays, do you think that climbing the ladder and earning your spot is has like lost its meaning?
I mean, you're just doing it in a different way. You're not earning your spot by getting a certain number of wins. You're earning your spot by getting a certain number of likes on Instagram. Yeah. That's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it diminishes it a bit, but the guys who do get fast tracked, it's usually for a reason. They're usually you get the odd guy that has a couple really impressive wins and maybe isn't the full package yet, and then their career gets kind of, they get rushed along too quick. Like I'm off the top of my head, I'm thinking of a Sage North guy. Here's a guy who burst onto the scene, had the look, had everything go, had a couple crazy knockouts in the first round, but he hadn't had time to work on his well-rounded game enough to give him longevity in the sport. Next thing you know, he's getting paid like a marquee high-level guy, and he's not performing like one, and then he's cut. And now his career in the UFC is already done, and he's in his when really, if his managers would have been a little more patient, if he would have said, listen, I want to work on becoming a more well-rounded fighter. I'm gonna opt out of taking the big payday right off the bat and having to fight all these high level guys and brought himself along more, he might have become a champion.
Hell yeah. And what about a guy like Khamzat Chimaev, who recently, he was just known for taking 2 fights in 10 days against two nobodies, bro. And he gets fast tracked to fighting a number 3 welterweight in the world. He
lived up to the hype, though. He's been living up to the hype. So that's one, that guy, I'm praying for that guy. Khamzat was somebody I was really excited about. And now it seems that, I don't know if you've heard but it seems that he's got some pretty lasting effects from COVID, which is seems to be pretty rare. You know, it's sad that most guys with his kind of athletic conditioning, it's like they barely even get symptoms from COVID. He's still coughing up blood months later. I just hope for his sake that his career isn't over before it really got a chance to begin.
I think so. Yeah, man. I think they weren't gonna fast track him, but he was the only one who wanted to fight Leon Edwards on however many votes. You know?
Yeah, I still hope that you know, he can recover and that fight can happen. But I don't think he should come back and start with that one. I think he should. I think that he's, even those guys that are clearly something special, they still should go up the rankings a little bit. Like, test him against different guys with different styles. Make sure that he's, you know, that he's got all his bases covered before you just throw him right into a title fight. But
hell yeah. And I think that's what I mean with Kamza, is that I think he should have 3, 4, 5 fights.
I agree. He's got. Yeah, I think he should fight. You know, I think he's getting him in it with a top 10 guy in his next fight would make sense. But fighting Leon Edwards might be a little ahead. I mean, I like that he was calling him out because everyone else was scared to fight Leon Edwards. But you know, I'd rather see him fight you know, a Wonder Boy Thompson or somebody who's in the top 10.
What about Neil Magny? What about Neil Magny?
That would be a perfect fight. That's you know, that's perfect. And Neil Magny already expressed some interest in it too, right? So definitely. That'd be fantastic. Trying to think of who else would be a good one for him. You know, or you know, somebody, you know, like a Tyron Woodley or I don't know if Tyron's
Bilal Muhammad.
Bilal Muhammad would be that would be a wild one. Yeah. That would be great because that would give Bilal another chance for another big high profile fight after that disappointing end to his fight last weekend. That would be, you know what? You said it first. Let's make it happen. From Dana White, let's make it happen. Bilal Muhammad and Khamzat Chimaev. Yeah, we'll let his eye, let Khamzat's lungs heal, let Bilal's eye heal up, and then let's make it happen.
Do you know what, Sam? Do you think that you know, with these young guys, even though they have so much around them, that they still feel the pressure coming into the UFC from wherever they came from? If they came from the big show, do you think they still feel the pressure on the inside?
Oh, 100%, 100%, man. I mean, going up from, you know, I had fought in championship fights and headline events with, you know, 1,000 people at them, and like in a big venues and big productions. But I fought in K1, but once you go to the UFC, that's the big show. That's what it's like. Really, every kid who gets into MMA now, their dream is to be fighting in the UFC one day, right? Be a UFC champion. So that first walk down down to the octagon is, you know, it's different. And you do see guys who aren't, you know, who it affects them, and guys who have never had any nerves in fights before, and you know, be affected by the nerves of coming into the UFC.
Definitely. And then when we talk about, you know, fighters, we talk about mentality, right? We talk about guys who, you know, have been victims of like controversy as of late, eye pokes, groin shots. You know, how do you think that sort of plays a part if you're a referee? If you're in a referee shoes, Sam, how does that make you feel? Like getting all this backlash.
Sorry, you cut up for what? So how does that make me feel as a referee to?
So like, if you're in a referee shoe, and you call a groin shot, you call an eye poke, you call the fight off, and then you get all this backlash off.
I mean, I think the refs have for the most part done a very good job. You know, that you know, with the illegal knees, the illegal eye pokes, the illegal. I think, you know, it's got to be a judgment call, and it's a big responsibility as a referee, and one I wouldn't, to be honest, wouldn't want to have. Right? You're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. You can't keep everyone happy. So, you know, it's a tough job, man. It's a tough job.
And I think it goes to what we were saying about health and safety, right? Yeah, you want to look at for the health of the fighters.
I think that's what has to be the first thing on your mind, but as a referee, not whether or not people are going to be pissed at you or you're going to get booed when you come out to the ring the next time. What should be the most important thing is making sure you keep the fighters as safe as possible, and I think they do a good job of that.
100%. And then if you're on the opposite side, and you're a judge, yeah, bro. Yeah, I know. I can see that look in your face right now.
Yeah. I know it's yeah. There's. I mean, if you're a judge, I say if you're a judge, you have to leave it up to, you have to go with what the referee says. If it was unintentional and he's not taking a point, you've got to forget it even happened. If it's an intentional groin strike, intentional eye poke, they deduct a point, you got to leave. I think that's mostly in the hand of the referees.
Yeah, man, 100%.
They get the best view. They're in there. They're the closest to the action. I think that's why it's up to them to make those tough calls.
But a lot of fans have said that they should have veteran fighters on the judges panel.
As on the judges panel. The one problem I would say with that is the veteran fighters. It would be very tough to find a lot of veteran fighters without any invested interest in any of the guys, whether it's somebody you've trained with in the past, somebody who's coached by somebody you've trained with in the past, it's really hard to stay unbiased. For me, I couldn't be a judge because I've always got, even if I'm always picking the guys I like. I'm always picking the guys that I have, I want to win. Where, as a judge, you really have to be able to be unbiased. And it's next to impossible, but at least to the best of your ability.
Yeah, man. No, 100%. But I mean, that's real shit right there, man. And but I going back to the CTE, the concussions. I hope everything. I respect everything you're doing, man, with Spencer Fisher. When the UFC, when a company he's fought 17 fights for, doesn't really acknowledge it. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. It does.
Well, and I'll clarify this here first. When Dana and or when the Fertittas still owned the company, I think they were helping him out.
Yeah.
I think when they sold the company, that's when I think they had given him kind of a position, like a title with the company, and they were paying him a little bit, and they were taking care of his meds. But when they sold the company, that's when they kind of forgot about him, right? They didn't include him in the deal. So, when the new company bought the UFC, then that's when he. So I mean, props to Lorenzo and Dana, and Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta and Dana for at least doing a little bit for him, but they did forget about him pretty quick when somebody wrote him a big enough check.
I think, but aside from fuck the money, I think he he's thanking you, man.
We spoke a couple nights ago because I had to give him all the information so the money would start coming into his account. It's been up for 2 weeks. It reached over 10,000 Canadian, which is he's gonna take a little hit on the exchange, but I was really happy to see that everyone did that, and the GoFundMe is still open. So if anyone's just learned about it, listening to this podcast or watching this podcast for the first time, you can go on my Instagram at Sammy J Stout, and I'll leave the link up for the GoFundMe. So if there's still some money trickling in. So
oh yeah, man. And I guess it takes one legend to respect. It's about respect,
and I'm trying to set an example for some of the other guys too, man. We are all in this together. The more we stick up for each other, the better it is for all of us.
Yeah, man. And it doesn't matter what sport you're in, physics, any way you look at it, And I want to thank you, man. I want to thank you, Cam, for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on, man.
I hope
good to talk to somebody from across the pond. It's been a while.
Definitely, man. I'm always here, bro. I'm always
here. All right. Take care, man. Stay in touch.